Guys, welcome back to the Remotorcycled garage. I thought it would be a good opportunity just to do a little vlog. Not a huge amount of progress happened over the past 3 weeks. I go away offshore on Monday, but I thought it was a good chance to just talk through where I see me going this year, some of the things I've been working on, and just generally having a catch up. So yeah, it's been a busy time at home, but not necessarily due to much going on in the garage. Initially I had the Hank the Tank, my Range Rover, was failed its MOT. Yay! So that ended up it wasn't anything drastic, but it did need a new shock absorber, so I got that changed, and it sailed through. But it left me without a car for a few days, and just kind of ties you up a little bit, not being able to get on and do other stuff when you've got a car and bits on your drive. So and then more laterally, I helped my dad find what was a Moto Guzzi came up for sale in Aberdeen, 750T, and the guy wanted about 450 quid for it, but I ended up haggling him down to 300 quid for this Moto Guzzi. So you see it in the picture, it's pretty cool. All the bits were there. You're always a bit hesitant buying a box of bits, but I initially bought it with the intent of maybe just doing a quick flip. With the likes of the stuff I do behind me, like making everything from scratch and throwing literally all of my efforts into stuff that potentially you can easily go out and buy, switch gear, all that other shit. It leaves you a little bit difficult to see the wood from the trees. So when I saw this Guzzi come up, I had that whole, it was almost a meme, like, oh wow, another project. And then you're looking at another project with you've got 2 projects and nothing else to do. No space or anything else left in the garage. So it was a bit like a fly to the the honey, or a bee to the honey. It was, ooh, this looks good. But anyway, I'd made my mind up that I was going to get it. My dad then expressed an interest in buying it off me, which made perfect sense. He's pretty practical. Well, he's very practical. He's the reason that I want to try and do stuff with my hands. So he's been looking for a little project since he retired. Doesn't know how to ride a motorbike, but great with his hands, great attention to detail. So he's taken this project on, and that's now down the road with him. So looking forward to helping mentor him a little bit with that and just see what he does with it. That big Transverse V, they look awesome. They sound phenomenal. I think that was the main reason that I was drawn towards it. They do sound phenomenal. But yeah, that was a bit of a. I'm glad I managed to pick it up, and I'm glad it's within proximity, so I can just help, because it'd be cool to see that bike come back to life. The engine had been seized, it had been sat for a little bit, but since then my dad's freed it off. It's done about 20,000 miles, so it's pretty tidy underneath. So if everything checks out, I'm sure he's just going to strip it all back, paint it up, put it back together, maybe put a different exhaust on, and maybe modify the frame a little bit, and turn it into a nice little bike for, well, I don't know what he's going to do with it. He might keep it, he might sell it. So what else? A few bits on the Panther. Needed access to a lathe to make a few bits and pieces, and Gus, good friend Gus from Man Cave Makings, has offered me time to go over to his lathe and build bits, but timing just hasn't really worked out. I've been away a couple of weekends and everything else, so it takes a bit of time to get all these things together, like a few mounting brackets to allow the M6 bolts to go through, to then mount my mudguard. So like the like little bosses that will allow these M6 bolts to go through, and as part of the mudguard. Can't be arsed grabbing that. I'll see the cutaway. But yeah, I just didn't really get a chance to go over there, and before you know it, time's dwindled away. So what I have done is I've rebred the brakes on the scrambler, because that was something that was sitting in my mind. So the biggest issue I find is having this big turd of a bike on the bench means that I don't work on any other of my bikes because I'm constantly fighting for space. So you go, oh, why bother? Why bother doing anything on the Scrambler? This thing's in the way, and it's not a good attitude to have. So towards the start of this week, I kind of changed that up a little bit, and I thought, well, you know what? There's a few bits in the Scrambler that need done. So rebled the brakes. That needs done for an MOT. Yes, I'd like to make a new exhaust for the Scrambler, but I've accepted that I probably won't get that done until this big turd's off the bench. But what else can I do in the Scrambler? Well, I don't really like the back mudguard arrangement. So I spent yesterday afternoon just making this little mudguard headlight arrangement. So what I'll do now is I'll design something quick on CAD and get Gus to laser cut me out or CNC cut me out a nice plate, and I'll relocate my tail light and my brake light for the Scrambler, so that when I ride the Scrambler, I've got a nicer, cleaner setup at the back with a nice 7x5, 6x4 plate on the back. So I managed to get that done, and that's kind of spurred me on a little bit. It's nice just to be tinkering and making stuff. You kind of, like I say, you kind of forget sometimes when there's this big lurgan project, it's hard to stay motivated with this, but I've not lost motivation for doing stuff. It's just sometimes it's hard to always want to do stuff in this, and that's entirely my own fault. That's self-driven. If I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't do it. But also, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because the things that you do want to do take so long. That's what kind of pulled me towards that Guzzy a little bit. So with that, I mean, I've got this other XS 750. I want to do a quick build. I want to just create something quickly, and I kind of get annoyed at the lack of progress, not because of just because I try to do everything to a certain level, which is fine, but I kind of want to do something else, like do another build, like a quick and dirty build. I've seen a few guys throw them together recently, and it's inspired me just to say, right, well, I've got a box of bits, I've got a shitty old bike sat in one of my sheds. Can I throw that together? Can I do something with that? So the biggest issue for that XS 750, as you see in the pictures here, DVLA were being total dicks about it and not letting me register it. I bought it with a V5, so when I tried to register it in my name a couple of years ago, they were like, no, it needs to be all together, not in bits. I'm like, right, okay. Which led me down the rabbit hole of, well, I'm not going to spend loads of money making a custom bike like this thing. That was meant to be the original base bike. You're not going to spend loads of money doing that for you to turn around and say, oh, sorry, it's going to go on a Q plate. So that was a bit frustrating, so that kind of led me to park that thing up. But that thing has done 27,000 miles. It's had a full top-end rebuild. I did that a couple of years ago, and it just needs put together. Simplest words. So, and it's just got me thinking, well, what can I do? Can I maybe tick along in the background with that and try and get that together? What does it need? Well, everything's there. It just needs new seals. I put it together not with the intent of doing what I'm doing with this thing behind me, but just simply, I've already put a loop on that, so why not put the custom seat on it, put in one of these X21 Morty, not what they call it, NWT X21 units, and just commit to, like, maybe say £600, £700 just on bits for this bike. Put it back together, don't fully paint it, don't do anything, just put it back together, kind of like a rat bike. Get the V5, ride around in it for a bit, strip it back, paint it nicely, and then punt it on. I'm not going to go all the way to getting it fully put together only for them to turn around and say, oh no, you're not gonna get your V5. But I will make a commitment to say, right, well, anything that goes on here, if it's for whatever reason they don't give me a V5, not sure why they wouldn't, but can I use all those other bits on another bike? Yes, probably, because they're all the bits that I'll be putting on are pretty generic, or the bits that aren't, I'll probably end up using on this bike here, the XS 850, if there's seals and components and everything else, and just cut my losses with it. But I don't want to cut my losses with it, but I also want to try and build something. I've got nice wheels and tyres on that bike already. I bought them last year, before I kind of got into this bun fight about the V5. So I kind of don't want to let that one go, and also it's a good opportunity to build something. So I've committed some of my money to buy bits this next time I'm offshore to get that build moving, and I've got space elsewhere, not in this garage, be another point that I can just work on the bike. So you might see some videos cropping up on that. I'll just chuck an XS750 front end on it. I've got 2 of them sat around already. I'll just chuck on, do you know what I mean? I've got bits, so I want to do that, and I get pissed off at the lack of progress. So anyway, I think also what I might do is commit to getting this thing off the workbench, just so I can get the scrambler up and do a few bits and pieces next time I'm back. It's a bit of a ball ache doing it by myself. I just need someone to help me. I need to take the exhaust off. I need to do a few other bits and pieces, but yeah, I'd like to try and see some more progress. So, and other bits, because it's been shitty weather, it's been storm after storm, and managed to get in the bike. That was pretty cool. The Indian, that is. Got out for a bit there. There was some unseasonably warm weather, but I'm really looking forward to getting a few more of those ride videos done once the weather starts getting better. There's a good few roads I want to tick off, so hopefully you can follow along with that. Because I've got a different front end, off a phaser, I had to redesign my yokes to account for the different fork size, spacing as well. Even though I'm designing my own yokes, I can make the spacing what I want. Part of me knows that I need to increase the width of the stance anyway to fit the R6 brakes in, so going with that, I'm sure we can make something work. So this has been redesigned. See if anyone can spot the error with this. It's easy to get carried away when you're 3D modeling stuff, especially when you can 3D print stuff and it builds it up in layers. I won't be able to actually print, I won't be able to get these milled with these retaining bolts in here. They'll need to be on the outside, and I did model a different version, but stupid me selected the wrong one to 3D print. If you wonder why it's orange, this is PET G. This is a different kind of material. It's meant to be a bit firmer. Feels it anyway, even with the same infill and everything, it definitely feels a bit tougher, so that's quite cool. Similarly, I've been working on getting these finalised. Again, I need to make a commitment at some point to get these things machined, so whilst the weather's not been good, it's been good just to iron out issues with some of the designs that I have. They're all kind of sat at like 60-70%. I really need to bring that up to 95%, 100%, so I can make the commitment to get some of them machined. And if these look like they're going to be quite beneficial and work, so one of the changes I did was, let me see if you can see here, I put some channeling, this bit here, put some channeling in to allow the wiring and everything to come out of these little switches. There's like these 4-part. Only had a few sips of beer. Well, by the way, this is awesome. Didn't know if anyone's tried it before. It's like a really light grapefruit beer. Great for garage work. Yeah, these switches they're charged, so these actually light up with whatever colour you want. These ones are going to be a goldy yellow colour, but obviously there's quite a lot of wiring, so I've made these to be channels in them to allow all the wiring and everything. So I had redesigned this, I printed this out. The print took like 8 hours or so because it's really solid, 90% infill, really small layers to try and get the detail there. But stupidly me, for fuck's sake, get that in a minute, I was too lazy to go out and measure the thread of this M12. I thought it was 0.7, it's actually 0.75 pitch between pitches, so I've printed this with 0.7, meaning I can't actually screw these bits in, which is a bit annoying, but it's a good thing to, it's a good mistake to have on here rather than a machined aluminium part. Similarly, the threads are M3, which is fine, but I don't know if anyone ever suffers from this where you buy stuff and you put it away in such a safe place you can't fucking find it again. So It's tucked away somewhere in my garage. I've got a bag of M3 bolts, Allen head bolts, but I can only find one at the moment. The biggest thing I was finding was, as you go on this 22mm bar and you tighten it up, you're kind of left with a, for God's sake, why is this autofocus such a bag of shit at the moment? You're kind of left with a, like a gap, even though it's all measured properly. So I don't know. That's part of the reason I was working on that, to try and get that looking a bit nicer. But it's fun tinkering away on that in the background anyway. But it doesn't really make for that interesting content. I obviously did that other video of how to do carbon fibre, which was different for me. Wasn't drinking beer, wasn't listening to metal, but it was an information type video, and seemed to get positive enough success. I met Sugarly Shed, Ewan, in person, which was pretty cool. When I dropped that bike off to my dad, Ewan lives about the same distance I live from my parents' house. He lives the same distance from my parents' house, so made a decision to try and meet up, and meet up we did, and we talked bikes and everything. It was really cool to meet up someone that I've met online, followed his progress. If you don't follow him already, you should. It's Ewan, Sugarly Shed, Ewan, his YouTube channel's in the link. So that was really cool meeting someone we speak to a lot. We speak on WhatsApp, part of a WhatsApp group with BJ from Brickhouse Bells, Alan, Kilted Bushido, and Brad Rennick, and Sam Becker, and like all these guys. So it's really cool just speaking with them. Another issue. Sorry, I'm back here again. Not all Allen cap head screws are created equal. The ones that I thought I had were actually too big. The head was too big to go in the hole. So I'm glad that I get the chance. I'm glad we're my own 3D printer now, because I can just dick around with this and leave it running for. Well, that took way too long. That was about 20 hours. But it's fine that there's mistakes. And it was good to play with that new material. But anyway, so I met Sugarly Shed. That was cool. Made a cool Star Wars thing. That got a lot of love. You know what I don't understand actually, is I don't know how to social media really anymore. My Instagram has been consistently 2,800 followers. Not through lack of posting any content that I think's potentially engaging, but it just didn't seem to increase. And then I tried this whole shit with Reels, where you make short videos and you condense all your content down into manageable chunks, because people don't have any fucking attention span anymore, myself included. But once you've done that and you make this reel, I can sometimes spend 2 minutes making a shitty reel and it'll get thousands upon thousands of views. Or I spent ages, like last night, curating this reel for making this mudguard thing. This, which I thought was actually quite good, quite engaging, interesting and informative and helpful for people. And it just sinks, and there's no real rhyme or reason as to how it works or how it doesn't work. So if anyone's got any hints, not because I really want to grow. Like I think it would be just nice. There's the amount of cool people I've met out of this. It'd be cool to keep meeting decent folk that are interested, all like-minded and everything else. Similar with YouTube. YouTube kind of stagnant at about 880 followers at the moment, which is pretty cool from a couple of years ago, but it's not quite there yet. It's not getting the traction. Some could say with traction comes more idiots, but yeah, it's finding the right people, finding interesting people. The people that I do have, I'm really appreciative of, and I really like speaking to some of the friends that I've made. I can call them friends, because some of the relationships you get with people that you've never met before, it's really interesting, and I really appreciate that. But it would be nice to continue to grow, because whilst I enjoy doing it, it'd be cool just to get more people involved, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of gibbering now. I just thought, I wonder if anyone will actually watch this. Just it was a good chance to catch people up on the happenings of the Remotorcycled workshop. So I go away on Monday for 3 weeks, and I shall be back sometime middle of March, hopefully to get cracking on some projects. This time off has been no huge plans to go away anywhere, which has been nice. It's been, but then again, a lot of your time gets spent living a life and everything else, which is also important. So, not had a chance to make any music. Anyway, I'm gibbering. So, yeah, next time you see me, it might be another XS750 video. We'll make it as clickbaity as possible. Oh my god, I found this in a shed, abandoned. 3 minutes from time lapse. Fucking bollocks. What was I gonna say? So it's nice to have the SLR, right? The GoPro's fine, but it can be quite shit sometimes. The quality in the SLR is way better. Right. Well done, Stream. Didn't even plug your fucking microphone in. I hope this has worked. God, I hope this has worked. If this has worked, I shall see you later, guys. Take it easy. Let me know what you're working on in the comments. Let me know how you're getting on. Take it easy. Like, comment, subscribe. See you soon.